et bienvenue. We are the creative committee for the Canadian Women's Brass Collective. On est super contente de vous offrir quelques présentations spéciales.
We are professional musicians who have joined forces to celebrate our mutual love and commitment to the world of brass.
We are performers, educators, researchers, and conductors.
We are soloists, members of orchestras, chamber groups, military bands, new music, and early music ensembles.
Our aim is to raise awareness of gender diversity, to foster positive attitudes, and to provide inspiration and role models for the next generation.
In 2019, we met for our first conference, That's What She Said, a week of masterclasses, workshops, roundtable discussions, an excerpt competition, and of course, concerts.
You can check out videos from That's What She Said and past online events on our YouTube channel.
Plus, join our Facebook or Instagram to find out about our upcoming events.
Nous sommes fiers de partager nos idées avec vous aujourd'hui.
Would love to hear from you. Please comment or ask questions in the chat on any of our platforms, and we'll do our best to answer them all.
We are working on future online events, so send us any topics or suggestions that you would like us to cover. All ideas are welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
We are the Canadian Women's Brass Collective.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karina Lamb, and I'm a euphonium player based in Toronto.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'm a trombonist in Toronto.
And we're both members of the Canadian Women's Brass Collective Committee. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We would like to take a moment to acknowledge our presence on the ancestral and unceded territory, which is home to many Inuit, Métis, and Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island, now known as Canada. We acknowledge their long-standing relationship and history as traditional guardians and caretakers of this land. Today, we are collectively presenting from Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Kitchener, Toronto, and St. John's. As a collective, we are committed to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples, their cultures, and strengthening our relationships moving forward. While we meet today on a virtual platform, we invite everyone who is joining us from all locations to acknowledge the Indigenous peoples on whose traditional territories we live and work. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Karina. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We've got an awesome lineup, so let's get right to it. Our first guest is Nikki McCaslin. I first met Nikki at the International Women's Brass Conference over lunch with a group of trombonists. It's the best place to be. Originally from Minnesota, Nikki received her degrees from Boston and Arizona State Universities. And after performing with many orchestras in the US, she made her way up here to Canada and over to Alberta, where she is principal trombone in the Red Deer Symphony Orchestra. She also teaches at the Mount Royal University in Calgary. In addition to her amazing music career, Nikki has been practicing yoga for over a decade and recently became a registered instructor. We are thrilled that Nikki can join us today. In her words, yoga is a wonderful tool to bring space, purpose, awareness into your body, mind, and day. Welcome, Nikki.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Canadian Women's Brass Collective, for having me. It's really a pleasure to do this here with you today. We are going to do a practice room yoga practice that I set up specifically for trombone players, but it will be helpful for any brass player. As trombone players, we tend to gather tension through our shoulders, so we're going to be releasing as much of that tension as possible today with lots of shoulder openers. As brass players, air is everything, right? So we're going to think a lot about expanding our air tank, because a great sound starts with a great inhale and a great breath. So I'm going to be talking about our air tank a lot, and when I do that, what I'm talking about is from our low belly all the way up to where we make our buzz. And on every inhale, I would love us to think about expanding in all directions, especially into that back body, our ribs expanding up into our shoulder blades, breathing up into our armpits and up through our collarbones. So as we're moving through different shapes today, forward folds and twists, when we're in that interesting shape, if we can think about expanding your air tank, then when you get to your chair and we're breathing well for our daily lip slurs, maybe we will find that we've created a little more space so we can have an even more relaxed, beautiful sound, because that is always our number one goal in our practice room. We can do this in your practice room, so we don't need a lot of space. We're not going to be doing any crazy warriors. You can do this in your jeans, in yoga pants. You can be in socks, no socks, wherever you're comfortable with today. If at any point in the next 30 or so minutes, anything feels anywhere approaching painful, if your joints start to talk to you at all, please back way off. Don't hurt yourself. This should all feel really good in your body. We're going to start seated, do some breathing and some twisting, and then we're going to move into some standing postures. We're going to do a really great shoulder opening, awakening flow, and then we're going to bring things down and work in our hamstrings a little bit, and then I'm going to show you a restorative shoulder opener where gravity does all the work for us, and it's like my favorite. It's awesome. So let's get started. You can be seated in your chair at your desk, in your practice chair, or you can join me on the floor. If you're on the floor, let's have some height. So maybe 3 to 4 inches. I'm just going to sit on some books that I have handy here in my practice room. Complete Guide to Breath and my very well-loved Arbans. Any props that we're going to use in this little yoga class is stuff that you've got available in your practice room right now. Props are so helpful to help you work from where you are, right? That's what we're always doing in the practice room. We're assessing where we are today, and we're working from there. So get comfortable. Cross your legs, whatever feels good for you. If you're sitting in your chair, both feet are planted, knees are drawing towards each other. Everybody's sit bones are grounding into your seat. Lifting through the spine, roll the shoulders up and down. Starting to release any tension in those shoulders right now. Just let it go. Gently rest your hands wherever feels good for you right now. And start to pay attention to the breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Inhale, expanding like a balloon. Exhaling, deflating like a balloon. And start to slow down the exhalation. So I'm going to count for us. We'll breathe in for 4, out for 4, in for 4, out for 5, in for 4, out for 6, until we're breathing out for 8. And really thinking about expanding our air tank and deflating in all directions. So let everything out. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let your breath come back to its normal rhythm. Notice the effect that little exercise had on your physiology. Your heart rate probably came down a little bit. It's a really great exercise to do when you get nervous before a performance or anything. Good, we're gonna do some seated cat-cows. So we're gonna inhale, open the chest, draw the belly forward, looking up to just where your ceiling meets your wall. Shoulder blades together. Inhale, open the chest, and exhale, round the spine, belly button to spine, space between your shoulder blades. Exhale, really letting out all the air here. Inhale, opening, look forward, and exhale, round. Start to go at your own pace. Inhale, open, and exhale, round. Inhale, open, and let's bring some circular motion into the torso. We're bringing the rib cage around. Exhale when you're back to the side, opening in the front. Starting to exhale when you're back in the back. Maybe bringing your neck into it and reversing directions. Exhale, round. Really finding the space between your ribs, stretching out those intercostal muscles. Good, neutral spine. We're going to do a twist, and we're going to do it in a way that we do all things in the practice room. We're going to do it slowly, deliberately, with really great technique. So setting up for it, left arm outside right knee, right hand behind you, lifting up tall. I'm going to say, back up for a second. I'm going to say the term engage your core a lot. And I really want to make it clear when I'm saying that, I'm not saying suck in your belly. I'm saying really light up those muscles that are there to protect your low back. Not sucking in the belly. We're turning on the muscles, because that is how we protect our low back, okay? So setting up for the twist, inhale, lift, engage the core, and just turn your belly towards the right. Inhale, grow even taller. Exhale, bring your rib cage around to the right. Inhale, growing tall. Exhale, shoulders into the twist. And if it serves your neck today, bring your gaze and your chin over your right shoulder. 3 big breaths here, expanding that air tank. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, maybe a little more of a twist. Inhale, tall. Exhale, increase that twist. Good work. Head back to center, then shoulders, and the rest of your torso. Set up for the other side, right arm outside left knee. Inhale, growing really tall. Engage the core on the exhale, bring your belly around to the left. Inhale, growing tall. Exhale, bring your ribs around. Inhale, growing, and then bring your shoulders into the twist, looking over that left shoulder if it feels good for your neck. I fell down while cross-country skiing a couple weeks ago, and I think this is the first time it doesn't feel funny to look over my left shoulder here. So meet yourself where you are. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. Expanding that air tank in this crazy shape, hey? Head back to center, shoulders, and torso. Good. Let's do some outward and inward rotation of our arms. Okay, now grab your right bicep with your left hand and just use your forearm to do that same motion. Starting to become aware of any extra work we do with this right arm, right? Eliminating any extra motion. Kind of a big deal for trombones. Good. Palm down. Let's stretch out the front of our hands. Let's just bring your fingers up. And give your wrists some love. Up. And down. And side. To side. Other arm. Just the forearm, inwardly rotating and outwardly rotating. Palm down, opening up the front of the hand. And then giving this left wrist some love. Our left wrist is the heavy lifting, especially for a bass trombone player, right? Really be gentle. Give these wrists some love. Sitting tall while we're doing this. Oh, opening to the side. Good. If you're sitting in a chair, arms out to the side, bring your right arm across your body and squeeze it in so we're getting a really good stretch throughout the back of your right shoulder. If you're on the ground, join me. Let's get on to all fours. Wrists directly beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Open that right arm out to the side and thread it underneath your left. Bring your right ear to the ground, tense your left fingertips, and try to start to peel open your chest to the left. And take some big breaths here, really expanding the air tank in this shape. A good stretch and a good twist here. Good. Switching sides. Left arm across if you're sitting in a chair. Left arm out and then thread it underneath the right, tenting the right fingertips, opening your chest to the right. Big breaths here, really feeling the way your air tank can expand when you are in this shape. Good. Now we're going to do some standing work. So excuse me while I adjust my screen here. Okay. So you get into your practice room in the morning and you're doing the long tones. You've already had 2 cups of coffee and oh my gosh, I can't concentrate. I'm so tired. You know, if you have that 3rd cup of coffee, your sound is going to start to shake, right? I don't know. That's my problem. So this is a really good shoulder opening flow that also wakes us up. So we're going to do it 4 times. First time really slowly with lots of cues, and then 3 more times with our breaths, okay? So set up really well. We're going to start in mountain pose. So feet are together. I'm sorry you can't see my feet. Lift all 10 toes off the ground. Really spread them out and take up all kinds of space as you place them back down on the ground. Lift one heel, draw it back. Place it back down. Lift the other heel, draw it back. Place it down. Kneecaps are lifted. Tailbone is drawing down to the ground. Core is engaged, lighting up these muscles. Shoulder blades down your back. Mountain pose. It looks easy. It's not. We're going to hook our thumbs. We're going to inhale, open the chest. And maybe your shoulders are tight and you can get your arms to here. Maybe your shoulders are open and you can bring your biceps to your ears. Whatever is working for you. But what we don't want here is a big arch in the low back. You want to draw the tailbone down and engage the core. So the only maybe back bend that's happening is in the very upper back. Inhale, reaching tall here. Nice, strong, high mountain pose. Exhale, we're going to circle the arms, clasp your hands, draw the elbows together, and reach your knuckles toward the ground here. Again, no arch in the low back, and let's draw the tailbone down, engage the core, open the chest. Maybe we're looking up just to where your wall meets the ceiling. This feels really good to expand your air tank in this shape, I think. Inhale. Good. Next is a deep knee bend. And we're going to hold our bellies so they're folded over our thighs. Bend your knees as much as feels good. Release your head and neck and draw your hands as high as feels good for you here. Inhale, feel your air tank expanding in this shape. Everything is drawing in towards the center line of your body here. Your knees are coming together. Your feet are still together. Release your hands. Keep the bend in your knees. We're moving into your chair pose. What is key in chair pose is that your spine is staying straight. So maybe you're here. Maybe you can go way down like a skier here. Maybe your arms are here. Maybe you can bring them up here while keeping your spine straight. Look, my back kind of got a little curve there, so I'm going to stay here. Strong pose here. Energy shooting out through your fingertips. Everything is zipped up to the center line of the body. Strong chair pose. Inhale here. We're going to do exhale, forward fold. Working towards straight legs. You can't straighten your legs. That's fine. If you can't touch the ground, that's fine. Hands on your shins. Release your head and neck. Feel a really good stretch throughout your whole back body. 2 more big breaths here. Soften your knees. Inhale, circle the arms to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. We're already a little more awake, okay? Okay. 3 times, a little bit quicker. I'll try not to go too fast. We're moving with our breath here, okay? Hook the thumbs. Inhale, 1. Reaching tall. Exhale, circle the arms. Clasp your hands, this time with your other thumb on top, so it should feel a little wrong. Inhale, opening the chest. Exhale, deep knee bend, folding forward. Release the head and neck. Arms come as high as feels good for you today. Inhale into your chair pose. Strong here. And exhale, forward fold. Release the whole upper body. Soften your knees. Inhale, rise. Exhale to center. Second time. Inhale, up, high mountain. Exhale, circle the arms. Other thumb on top this time. Inhale, open and reaching in opposite directions. Exhale, deep knee bend. Forward fold. Inhale into your chair. Exhale, forward fold. Straight-ish legs. Soften the knees. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands heart center. Last one, clasp the thumbs. Inhale, strong and tall, tall, tall. Exhale, circle the arms. Clasp the hands. Other thumb on top. Inhale, open the shoulders. Deep knee bend. Exhale, forward fold. Release the head and neck. Inhale into your chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees. Circle the arms. Hands to heart center. Good. I'm awake. I hope you are too. And I hope your shoulders feeling a little bit more open, right? And we felt our air expanding when we were in all those different forward folds, or our air tanks expanding. Next pose is a great shoulder opener with a terrible name, Gomukhasana, cow face pose. But it's a good one. So it looks like this. You've seen it before, okay? But not all of us can get our fingers to touch when we're in this shape. So set yourself up for success. Grab a prop. Meet yourself where you are today. It's what we do in the practice room. There's probably a sock on top of your trombone stand. Maybe you've got a cloth that you use to wipe down your slide. Maybe you've got your snake that you use to clean out your slide. I did make sure this is really clean before I grabbed it today. So grab your prop. Transition into Gomukhasana. I'm going to do this, but you all stay standing and you can face me. I just do this so you can see what I'm doing. Again, starting with a really great mountain pose. Take up all kinds of space on the floor with your feet. Kneecaps are lifted, tailbone drawing down, core is engaged, shoulder blades down your back. Prop is in your right hand. Inhale, circle the arms, reaching tall. Left arm out to the side, thumb is down. Draw it back between your shoulder blades. Right arm inwardly rotating. The pinky is at the center line of your body. Drawing it down. Grab your props. Maybe your fingers can meet. You can use your prop. Whatever's working for you today. So we're in this shape. We still have a great setup from our toes to our shoulders. No kinks in your neck. Your neck is in line with your spine. Chin is parallel with the ground. We are reaching our elbows in towards that center line of our body. Core is engaged. And then we're taking amazingly huge breaths here. And really feeling how the top of the breath increases that stretch. In yoga, you're supposed to breathe through your nose. As a breath player, I'm kind of torn. So breathe however it works for you today. Good. Release your prop. Release your hands. Do a little shake. Before we move to the other side, we're going to do a forward fold. We're going to do it in the way that we do everything in a practice room. We're going to use amazing technique and we're going to support ourselves. So what we're going to do is only bend as far as we can get with a flat back. We already did this forward fold. We're not doing that this time. We're doing a flat back. And we're supporting ourselves with something to rest our forehead on. It's really key that you can rest your forehead on something for this. So maybe your trombone case is the right height. If you've got tight hamstrings, you're going to need something higher. If you've got pretty open hamstrings, you can use something lower. Maybe the back of your practice chair is good. Maybe your desk. Maybe the seat. Maybe you've got crazy open hamstring and maybe the seat of your practice chair. Do some experimenting. Find something that's a good height for you today. Standing about torso distance away from your prop, your chair, or your case. Setting up really well. Take up space with your feet. Kneecaps lifted. Tailbone dropped. Strong core. And let's put our hands on our hips. And it's really key here to lead with your sternum and think about hinging your pelvis. Starting to draw the tailbone up towards the sky. So inhale, lifting really tall, and then forward folding with your back straight. We should get to a point where we're starting to feel the stretch through your hamstrings. Set up a pillow with your forearms. Rest your forehead. Weight is in the front of our feet. Close your eyes here. We're going to hang out for a bit. Close your eyes. Release your jaw. I'll take 5 big breaths here. Your legs are engaged, but your upper body should be pretty relaxed. Good. Soften your knees. Catch your waist and slowly come up. You might be a little dizzy. Good. Gomukhasana arms on the other side. Put your prop in your left hand. Set up really well. Take up space with your feet. Legs are engaged, core is engaged. Inhale, reaching tall. Right arm out, thumb down. Bring that in between your shoulder blades. Left arm inwardly rotating so your pinky is at the center line of your body. And drawing that down. Drop it down. Catch your prop. Everything's in line here. Everything is coming in towards that center line. My right shoulder is so much tighter than my left, so I can really feel it on this side when I'm at the top of my inhale. Draw the elbows in, taking out any kinks that might be in your neck. Inhaling deeply. Good. Release. Shake it out. Another forward fold, but this time we're going to have wide legs. You can go as wide as you think will feel good for you today. I'm saying like 3 to 4 feet between your feet. Outside edges of your feet are parallel to each other, so it might feel like you're kind of pigeon-toed. And again, we're going to grab our waist. We're going to inhale, leading with the sternum, thinking about bringing your tailbone up as we forward fold. Set up your support. Rest your forehead. Strong legs, relaxed upper body. Release your shoulders. Release your jaw. Close your eyes if it feels good. 5 big breaths here. Good work. Soften your knees. Catch your waist. Slowly come up. Okay, so that brought the energy level down. That's a really good trick. If you're a little hyper in rehearsal because we're playing high and loud and fast, maybe rest your forehead on the back of your chair at break. It just brings it down. Good. Okay. One last thing. I'm going to adjust again. I'm going to bring it down even more. Pardon me. So this is another shoulder opener that is a restorative pose, and it uses gravity to do the work, so we don't have to do anything. I'm going to say you probably don't have, I kind of lied earlier, you probably don't have the props you need for this in your practice room. So I'm going to show you how to set it up, and you can use it. Just add it to your toolbox because it's so good. If you have yoga blocks, this is how you set up with yoga blocks. First one is at medium height across ways. Second one can be at either way, but it's at the highest height. And what we're going to do is lower our shoulder blades across the bottom of the first block and then use the second to support your head. And that's the first half of that. You don't have yoga blocks, a lot of us don't. But we all have some towels and some blankets in our house. So what we want is some height. So like 4 to 6 inches of height, but we want it to be narrow so our shoulders can open. So I've just got an old rug and 2 old beach towels rolled up. A little more height for my head. And I'm going to lay back onto this prop, middle of my back. I do have kind of a wonky low back, and if you do too, maybe the height, you want to have the height start a little bit higher. But find what feels good for you. So, right, so our head is supported. And we can be here with our legs straight. This is called supported fish pose. It's even better, I think, if we put the soles of our feet together and let our knees splay out to the right, out to the sides. And we support ourselves with any pillows. You can also bring Urbans back. We need a little more height. And once we're in the supported pose, if you want to release a little more tension in your arms, we can do arm circles. Finger nails on the ground and circle here. Just doing a couple of these. Inhaling as we go up and exhaling as we go down, so that we can rest and know that we are completely held here, and we're also opening our shoulders. This is really great. I just think it's so good to spend some time letting your body absorb your practice. You can absorb all the good that you just did, all the work that went well, and release any tension that may have crept into the shoulders while you were working and practicing. It's also, I've been known to make that shape and then watch some Schitt's Creek. So it's just a really good tool to have in your self-care toolbox. Okay, let's sit up tall again. Grounding through your sit bones. Let's just do a big inhale. Notice all the space we created. Exhale to center. Inhale, gathering in all the good and all the good vibes we've worked on. Exhale, and I like to always end a yoga class with my favorite definition of namaste, which is the light in me sees the light in you. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Rachel, I can send it back to you.
Hey, Nikki. Wow. That was great. Thank you so much. I feel very relaxed watching you. We will be, we have a recording of this, so anybody that couldn't do it right at this moment, like me, and needs just a little bit more space and the right clothing, I can't wait to do it. And I just love the way you relate it to the trombone and the arbans and the snake and everything. It's just so cool. That's awesome. Yeah. How did you get into yoga anyway? Like, what was there something that?
I've always been like a body person. I danced a lot from age 6 to 16, like a lot. And so I really love the practice of moving your body and having like a goal with that. And so yoga just kind of was a natural. Once I couldn't dance anymore, I just was a really good way to use that part of my mind and body. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just so good for us when the way we use our bodies in strange ways. That's the other great thing is, when you're talking about, you've got one shoulder that's more stressed than the other. And, and you become aware of that as you do yoga and how it just, and also I love the way you talk about the air tank.
Yeah. That's so huge, and everything. And it relates so well to brass playing because as every movement has a breath coordinated with it. And, same thing here, right?
Yeah.
I always tell the students that, the tongue is operating the slide kind of. So it's all coordinated. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so you just got your certification. Is there a story behind that?
Yeah. Well, so I wanted to be a yoga teacher for 15 years now. And I lived in a small town in North Carolina, and I had to drive an hour and a half for every gig. And the nearest yoga teaching certification place was at least 2 hours away from where we lived, and it just didn't work with our lives. So we were there for 10 years, and I was practicing, And then we moved here, and I was like, oh, we can make it work. And then it was just crazy, and I had little kids, and it didn't work. Finally, in January 2019, I found a really great studio, the Yoga Studio College in Calgary. It's been phenomenal Iyengar yoga-based teaching. It worked with our schedule, and it was great. So I signed up, and it was a really rough year, and my teacher was amazing, and was so supportive. And finally, was getting my certification on March 15th, 2020, 2 hours after they closed schools and all gyms and yoga studios.
Oh,
so this is like the third yoga class I've ever taught. So
great.
So
well,
me practice with you.
Oh, thank you very much. And I'm sure that everyone out there has, learned a lot from watching you. And it's just so much fun to have a trombone player do it. And who knows about all that we go through to try to play well and stay healthy.
Yeah.
So,
I also want to say, if anybody has any questions or requests, please contact me.
Yes.
If anything was brought up, any questions for you,
yeah,
let me know, and I'd be happy to address that.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Nikki has a website at nikkimccaslin.com. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So check her out there. And thanks again, Nikki. So we're going to have a little break before our next event, which is the progressive routine. So everybody stay tuned, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks again, Nikki. Bye for now.